What's going on, y'all? It's Jackson with We Major Anime back again with another Naruto video. Today we are going to be ranking the top 25 Naruto characters based on power, who would win in a fight, all this, that, yada, yada, yada. So bear with me. If you think there's any that I left out or you think I misplaced anybody, please let me know in the comment. But we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it with number 25.
Saucy.
So at number 25, we got Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. Now, this guy, kind of a bitch. I don't really like the way he treated Naruto. Is what it is. He is known as the Professor of Konoha. He knows every single jutsu in the Hidden Leaf Village, aside from the Flying Raijin Jutsu. Not really sure why he never learned that one. It'd probably be a pretty cool thing to learn, in my opinion. I also think Naruto should learn it, but that's beside the point. He was able to fight Orochimaru and fight off Hashirama and Tobirama as reanimations when he battled Orochimaru, and he also took away Orochimaru's arms. And I don't know if y'all know this, but all three of them are people higher than him on the list, so he can definitely hold his own. He's also got one of the best summons in the show in Monkey King Enba and his adamantite staff. Basically, adamantite is the strongest material in Naruto and it's unbreakable. So yeah, number 25, Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. And number 24, we got the fifth Hokage, Tsunade. What do I say about Tsunade? So she's insanely strong physically. She can just break boulders with punches, shit like that. She's got a ridiculously good chakra control. She reinvented the way shinobi squads are made, making every single one need a medical ninja to go out in the field. She is one of the best medical ninja to ever be seen on Earth. I think the only one who might be better than her is her person she taught, Sakura. On top of that, she's got the Byakuya seal with the 100 healings jutsu, meaning she could literally die 100 times and come back to life. It's absolutely absurd. She uses this also to maintain her younger appearance because she is like 50 something in the show, but she looks like 20. Tsunade, absolutely powerful, force to be reckoned with. However, there are a lot of other people that would absolutely smoke her in a fight. So we're going to keep moving on up to number 23. And number 23 is Mu, the second Tsuchikage. He is the founder of the particle style, which is when they, make that giant white shape and trap someone in it and they just die. They just like disappear. It's absolutely absurd. On top of this, he can split himself into two people by splitting his chakra in half. Very similar to the way clones are made. However, it's still just two of him instead of a clone, if that makes sense. He's extremely fast. He gave Gaara and Naruto a hard time during the war arc. However, he was ultimately defeated. Coming in at number 22, we got Tsunade's apprentice, probably the currently most useful person in Konoha nowadays, believe it or not, Sakura. And I don't care what any of you have to say, she is not useless. Read the fucking light novels. She's insanely powerful. She can do everything that Tsunade can do, but probably a little better. She has a Byakuya seal and the 100 healings jutsu, which I'm pretty sure she can heal herself more than 100 times. On top of that, her chakra control is so strong, she can just grab ninjutsu that's shot at her and throw it back at him. Who else do you know that can do that? On top of that, she can put her hand up to a wall of a building from the outside and map out the entire building on the inside, find traps, hidden rooms, people, all that good stuff. We know about her brute strength. She's absolutely crazy. She used to be a bit emotional and kind of made her a bit of a pussy. However, she really grew into her character, and nowadays she is probably just about on par with Naruto and Sasuke. On top of that, without her, they would not have defeated Shin Uchiha, who is one of the strongest Mangekyo Sharingan users we have ever seen. I'm going to be coming out with a video about that later. However, Sakura is definitely a force to be reckoned with. She do not play around, especially when it comes to the people that are important to her and the village. At number 21, we got Kisame Hoshigaki of the Akatsuki in the Hidden Mist Village. They call him the tailless-tailed beast because of his extreme amount of chakra. He wields Samehada, which is a sentient shark sword, and they call it shark skin, which basically just rips you to pieces and can also drain your chakra. He can combine with Samehada and turn himself into an actual shark, summon a bunch of water, and just fucking chase you around like he did Might Guy. He pushed Might Guy to open the 7th gate. Out of 8 gates, he opened the 7th one. That was the only way Might Guy could defeat him. He is a very loyal person. When he realized he was about to be defeated, he actually killed himself with his sharks so that they couldn't extract information from his body. At number 20, we got Gaara, everybody's favorite Kazekage. He's got the magnet release. He is the one-tails Jinchuriki of Shukaku. He can control sand and do all sorts of cool stuff with it. Highlight of this would probably be the Grand Sand Mausoleum, in my opinion, which is when he makes a giant pyramid and traps somebody in it and just seals them, and they're trapped in there for eternity, unless their name is Madara Uchiha, because that just won't work on him. His mother died when she was giving birth to him, and her soul follows him around and protects him with the sand. It is known as his ultimate defense. On top of that, he was able to defeat Rock Lee in the tuning exam. It was really close. Rock Lee is a force to be reckoned with as well. Unfortunately, he didn't make this list because I chose to put Guy on here instead of him. However, he is not to be fucked around with, and honestly, nowadays he's probably on par, if not surpassed Guy. But we're not talking about him right now. We're talking about Gaara. And this man, Gaara, he has quite a character arc, let me tell you. He goes from just evil as fuck, just killing children left and right in his village, let alone in the tuning exam. Fastest ever time in the Forest of Death, beating Itachi and Minato. He was the leader of the Allied Shinobi forces on the battlefield. He was the general. He made the battle decisions in the moment while the 4th Raikage stood behind in the HQ, leading the whole regiment. Coming in at number 19, we got Kabuto, and man, is this motherfucker a wild one. Let me tell you, he has no idea who he is. He became a perfect snake sage towards the end of the series. Well, pseudo perfect, because I mean, his snake, he's kind of turned into a snake, which would make him not a perfect sage. However, he can do all the things that a perfect sage can do. He just looks like a snake permanently. He is the one who Edo Tensai'd everybody back to life during the war arc, so he brought back all these powerful shinobi, which really doesn't take a toll on his chakra, but still, he's an absolute genius. He is a absolute prodigy from Orochimaru. On top of this, he is an extremely talented medical ninja, and the only way that he was able to be defeated was Itachi putting him in Izanami. This was able to snap Kabuto back into reality and kind of fix his identity crisis, because he had to come to grips with who he was and what the world really is and what reality is in order to be snapped out of it. Coming in at number 18, we got Kakashi, everybody's favorite sensei. It is really hurting my heart that I couldn't put him higher on this list, but at the end of the day, he was only like the most powerful person in the series for like 10 minutes, so I'm going with overall Kakashi. So yeah, I mean, listen, Hokage Kakashi, very powerful. However, he doesn't even have a Sharingan anymore. And so where do I even start with him? He invented the Chidori. On top of that, he has Kamui for like the longest time, and now he doesn't anymore. It is what it is. He invented Purple Lightning. Also on top of that, a lightning clone, which is basically a shadow clone that just turns into lightning when you touch it and just fucks you up. At one point, he had the best Susanoo we've ever seen when he did have both Sharingan. He had Obito's and his. Well, I guess both Obito's, but that's beside the point. You know what I'm saying? What can I say? Who doesn't love Kakashi? He's at number 18. I couldn't not put him on this list. At number 17, we got the most painful death probably for everybody in the show. We got Jiraiya. Jiraiya was a sage. However, he was a pervy sage and not a perfect one. He kind of turned into a toad a little bit when he turned into a sage with Ma and Pa on his shoulders. He is able to use them to use the Toad Song Genjutsu, which is literally an unescapable genjutsu. On top of that, he was able to take down 2 Paths of Pain on his own without having any data of what they can do and how to defeat them and that they're all linked and whatnot. He's got extremely high battle IQ. On top of this, he is Naruto's teacher, helped him master how to use Kurama. On top of that, taught him the Rasengan and all this good stuff. Really, he was just a placeholder to teach the people of the future rather than be powerful himself, although he is a member of the legendary Sannin along with Tsunade and Orochimaru, so he is not to be misunderstood. However, he is not nearly as powerful in my opinion as they claim him to be, considering he only ranks at number 17 on this list out of the top 25. So yeah, however, he is not someone to be messed around with, and he is not easy to take down by any means, and it would have been very interesting to see what he would have done in the war arc as a reanimation, which basically would have gave him unlimited chakra. Coming in at number 16, we got Might Guy, otherwise known as Night Guy, and oh man, is this guy something different. He is the best taijutsu user we have ever seen and probably will ever seen unless Metal Lee surpasses him. We haven't really seen Rock Lee's capabilities yet, so we don't really know. I'm assuming he may have surpassed him by now, but I'm going off what I've seen. He's able to open up all 8 gates, use Evening Elephant, Morning Peacock, all this and that. He was the only person whose strength Madara recognized during the war arc, considering that Madara was only able to be touched by taijutsu and nothing else, and Guy took care of fucking business, laid his life on the line, was ready to die, and did quite a bit of damage. So them 8 gates are not to be messed with, man. I know it'll make your body burn from the inside out because your blood is boiling. However, it is one of the most powerful techniques we have ever seen, and if it was sustainable and he could do that repeatedly, oh my god, he'd be so much higher up on the list. But because of that, we're placing him at number 16. Coming in at number 15, we got the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. When we talk about geniuses, you can't not mention Tobirama. He is the inventor of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, the Flying Raijin Jutsu, and the Reanimation Jutsu. He used the Reanimation Jutsu in a very different way. It's something called mutually multiplying explosive tags. Basically, he makes reanimations of explosive tags, and I don't know if you guys know how reanimations work. Basically, you cannot kill a reanimation. Once you destroy it, it's just going to rebuild itself, and the only way to take them out is sealing them. So basically what Tobirama thought to do, which was very smart, was to make them with explosive tags, so when you hit them, they explode, and they just keep exploding over and over and over again. On top of that, the Flying Raijin Jutsu is probably one of the most powerful things in the whole show. It allows you to teleport to somewhere instantaneously as long as you have it marked. We saw Tobirama use this very effectively against Madara's younger brother Izuno with the good old Flying Raijin slice, taking out Madara's little brother, causing a whole bunch of shit to go down. However, Tobirama, man, oh my god, is he just different. On top of this, he sacrificed himself to save his company against Ginkaku and Ginkaku's squad. Fought, I think, 20 of them or so to hold them off, and ended up handing Hiruzen the third Hokage position. It was very heartwarming. However, it was not really touched on that well in the anime. It was very brief. On top of this, he created the Ninja Academy so that children wouldn't have to go to battle. On top of this, made the Chunin exams to make sure that children were ready to go into battle, because it is supposed to simulate war, and the whole idea behind him, Hashirama, and Madara founding the village was so that kids wouldn't have to fight in wars anymore. So on top of being a really good guy, he was a fucking genius. So it is not to be misunderstood the power of Tobirama. Coming in at number 14, we got the most powerful of all the legendary Sannin, Orochimaru. He is able to be basically immortal by placing curse seals on people so that when he dies, he can just pop right out of their neck or whatever, like he did Sasuke and Anko and all these people. He is on a conquest to learn every jutsu on Earth, which he is doing a pretty damn good job of. On top of that, he is definitely an evil genius, trying to bring back wood style after Hashirama died, killed hundreds of kids trying to figure it out, finally found success with one in Yamato. On top of that, he's able to clone himself and make clones of himself, the same as we saw with Mitsuki and Boruto and Log. On top of that, he was able to make Mitsuki a perfect sage, which is something he was not able to do. However, Mitsuki's body is still not able to handle this very well, so he cannot stay in sage mode long, and if he does, he's probably gonna die or be very close to it. Coming in at number 13, we got the fourth Raikage, who is the second fastest person we have ever seen in the show with his lightning cloak, which is basically an impenetrable defense. Only way this was ever beaten was by Sasuke being an angsty little bitch with his Amaterasu coming and attacking the 5 Kage summit. We haven't seen that many feats of him. He's a fucking Raikage, and they're probably the strongest village outside of the Hidden Leaf, so that says all you really need to know. On top of that, his speed, the only person that he can't really keep up with is Naruto and his Jin cloak, and probably Minato, because Minato can teleport. Man, he's faster than Guy in his 8th gate, probably, I would have to imagine. I mean, he's literally lightning. He's literally embodied himself in lightning, so I mean, how can he not be that fast? Coming in at number 12, we got his little brother, Killer Bee, and where do I even start with Killer Bee? He's the 8 Tails Jinchuriki, and I don't know if you guys know a lot about the 8 Tails, but the 8 Tails is probably the second strongest tailed beast, right behind Kurama. He can make ink clones. His ink clones have something special, a little sealing jutsu. Basically what he does is he wraps the clone around somebody's body and just turns himself into ink, and when he does that, you just can't move. It's really broken. On top of that, he's the best swordsman we've ever seen with his 8 sword style. He's got the fastest reaction time we've ever seen, being the only person we've ever seen be able to react in time to a Flying Raijin teleporting behind him, which I don't know how you react to somebody literally just instantly teleporting behind you. He's able to fully control Gyuki, use tailed beast bombs and all that stuff. Him versus Naruto would be one of the most interesting fights ever. However, Naruto would definitely win. On top of that, he was able to hold his own in a 2-on-1 versus 2 other tailed beasts. So I mean, what more can you say? Coming in at number 11, we got Fugaku Uchiha, Sasuke and Itachi's father. However, we do not know many of his abilities. I'm basically just going off of his run on site order during the Third Great Shinobi World War. A lot of other villages were told their shinobi, hey, if you see Fugaku with a wicked eye, you better take off in the other direction, because you're done. You're done. I would assume that he probably had Amaterasu, considering both of his sons do. However, we don't know that for sure. We don't know what his Susanoo looked like, because his Mangekyo Sharingan is anime canon only. It's not in the manga. Honestly, during the Nine Tails attack, if he would have been allowed to go help instead of guard the villages of Konoha, Minato and Kushina would not have probably died. Alrighty, Coming in at number 10, we have my personal favorite character, Itachi Uchiha, and if he didn't have that chakra disease that killed him, he probably would have been the most powerful person we've ever seen. He's got Amaterasu in one eye, Tsukuyomi in the other, and listen, I know Tsukuyomi isn't considered like the most powerful genjutsu of all time. However, if you're put in it, it's 3 seconds in real life and 3 days in the 3 days of torture while you're in it, so you feel like you're being tortured for 3 straight days. We saw him use this on Kakashi, and it took Kakashi an entire week to recover from it. He was in the hospital the whole time. He had the best Susanoo I've ever seen, probably. It wasn't complete, however, so it wasn't very mobile. He got the sword of Totsuka in right hand, which basically if he cuts you or touches you or stabs you with it, it seals you in a realm called the Realm of Drunken Dreams, which is basically a place where you are the dizziest you've ever been, and that's eternity. On top of this, in his other hand of the Susanoo, he's got the Yata Mirror, which deflects any ninjutsu thrown at it. So basically, say someone shoots a fire style fireball jutsu at him, the Yata Mirror turns into fire style and just deflects it. It's impenetrable, and on top of this, behind it is a Susanoo, which is considered the ultimate defense in the show. He has got the highest battle IQ we've ever seen, and right behind Gaara, he is the fastest person to ever complete the Forest of Death, and he did the Chunin exams by himself without a team. Take that as you will. Coming in at number 9, we got Nagato / Pain, probably the best villain we've ever seen, with the Rinnegan and the 6 pass abilities, with the universal pull and the almighty push and the Shibuka Tensei, also known as the planetary devastation, where he basically just creates a gravitational core, throws it up in the air, and Earth just starts going to it. It's absurd. On top of this, the 5 other paths with the King of Hell and the Animal Path. What are you gonna do against it, man? I'm telling you, if Naruto wasn't so good at talking, he would have lost that fight. I promise. Like, there's no way he wasn't ready for it. Maybe Naruto, War Arc Naruto probably could have beat him. Actually, War Arc Naruto definitely would have beat him. But for the purposes that we're talking about in his fight with Naruto, he would have won. And there's not a doubt in my mind about it. Coming in at number 8, we got Obito Uchiha, who's got half of the Kamui. On top of this, for like a solid 15-minute period, he was the strongest being on Earth, being the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, until he kind of got bitched out of it by Madara. He's extremely powerful in taijutsu, being able to go hand to hand with Kakashi. He's got the Sharingan, man, and basically the way his Kamui works is basically the opposite of the way Kakashi's works. Kakashi can teleport other things away. Obito can make himself like, you can just pass, you touch him, you're not touching him, and you're just gonna pass through him. The only one who was ever able to figure this out like on a dime was Minato. Obito's a force to be reckoned with, man. He fought Konan in the village hidden in the rain. Probably should have died. However, he has a little thing called Izanagi, which basically, if he dies, he can just rewrite reality, bring himself back to life. It's absolutely absurd, absolutely broken jutsu. The only time we ever really saw this used was when Sasuke fought Danzo, and Danzo had 10 Sharingan, so he was able to use it 10 times. But anybody with Izanagi, basically, aside from Danzo, because I hate him, is gonna make this list. Well, actually, I don't hate Danzo. He's an awesome villain, but he's kind of a piece of shit, and I don't think he's that powerful personally. At number 7, we have Madara Uchiha, and the reason that I have him at 7 and not 6 is because I have Hashirama at 6, and Madara's whole life was basically just getting his ass beat by Hashirama, which is really funny considering the fact that he's one of the strongest beings we've ever seen. And at one point in the show, he was also the 10 Tails Jinchuriki and enacted the Infinite Tsukuyomi, which is the genjutsu of all genjutsus, where he reflects his eye off the moon and casts the entire world in an eternal genjutsu with the Tree of Life. He has a little special Rinnegan ability that Pain doesn't have, called Limbo Clones, which is basically he has these clones in another dimension that is parallel to the dimension that they're in. The only people who can really even fathom what they are someone who is a sage or someone who has a Rinnegan. Other than that, if you're just a normal shinobi or even like a really powerful shinobi, if you don't have one of those two things at least, you're gonna have no idea where you're being hit from. On top of this, Madara can have his clones use Susanoo, and on top of that, he, during the War Arc, grafted Hashirama cells onto his chest, so he was able to use wood style on top of this, making him probably more powerful than Hashirama, but I'm still putting Hashirama above because it's Hashirama. Speaking of Hashirama, we're going to talk about Hashirama, the founder of the wood style ninjutsu. Man, Hashirama's built different. They call him the god of shinobi for a reason, let me tell you. On top of that, he's got unlimited chakra, basically. They say he died of chakra depletion, which leads me to believe that he probably had a chakra disease similar to Itachi, because he had basically unlimited chakra, being a Senju, which Senju's the most powerful clan to ever grace Naruto. On top of that, the wood style ninjutsu is extremely powerful with the deep forest emergence. Basically, Hashirama can just summon a forest that has these flowers that bloom that spray this poison around. Madara actually used this against the 5 Kage when he was battling them and took all of them out. It was absolutely absurd. And on top of this, when Hashirama is in Sage mode, he uses the 1,000-Armed Buddha. The 1,000-Armed Buddha is the best counter possible to the Susanoo, is probably one of the only things that can combat the Susanoo. Madara literally went out, captured Kurama, slapped some Susanoo armor, and still fucking got his ass whooped by the 1,000-Armed Buddha. It punched it so hard, it literally punched the Susanoo armor off of Kurama and absolutely shit on Madara again. I'm telling you, Madara had a fucked up life. He just lost every single battle. It was really unfortunate, but you know what? It is what it is. When you're fighting the god of Shinobi, you're fighting the god of Shinobi, and you're not gonna beat the god of Shinobi. However, you know who could beat the god of Shinobi, in my opinion, is Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage, Naruto's father. He's an absolute boy genius, invented the Rasengan. He perfected the Flying Raijin Jutsu, which is the teleportation. On top of this, he married an Uzumaki, who the Uzumaki specialized in sealing jutsu, so he knows all types of crazy sealing jutsu, like the Reaper Death Seal, which he used against Kurama. On top of that, the 8 Trigram Seal, which he used to seal Kurama inside of Naruto. He was able to fight off 1,000 Iwa Shinobi by himself at one time, and he was also able to take care of the Kanabi Bridge incident after Obito got crushed and Kakashi lost his eye. He was on the front lines just taking out everybody on his own. On top of this, he faced Killer Bee and the 4th Raikage during the 3rd Great Shinobi World War. Made them look so stupid. Made them look so stupid. It was incredible. I mean, I'm telling you, if you're facing Killer Bee and the 4th Raikage, if you're making them look stupid, you must be absolutely formidable. So I'm placing Minato at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we got Kaguya Otsutsuki, the alien that descended to plant the god tree and eat the chakra fruit to become the almighty being. Where do I even really start with her abilities? She can basically do everything. She can travel between dimensions like just at will. On top of that, she's got a special thing called Ash All Killing Bone, which basically she has these bones like Kimimaru. However, if they touch you, you just turn into ash and fall apart and disintegrate. It's absolutely terrifying. The only way they were able to defeat her was when Hagoromo descended to talk to Naruto and Sasuke, lent them both 6-pass power so that they could seal her into the moon, and so that Naruto could start ninja Jesusing people back to life. If Hagoromo's got to get involved, you know it's serious and a very, very formidable enemy. Now, it kind of pains me to have Sasuke at number 3, considering he's died like 5 times and just been plot armored back to life. Considering his summoning animals are powerful enough to deflect an attack or block an attack, or however you want to put it, that is supposed to demolish things at a cellular level. Apparently, his summonings just aren't made of cells. I don't know what that is. On top of that, he got his ass beat by Killer Bee and killed 2 times in one fight and was able to come back to life because of his plot armor and Karin Jugo. However, Sasuke is absolutely formidable. He possesses the ability to just summon lightning from the sky in his Kirin Jutsu. Took the Chidori to the next level the same way Naruto did with the Rasengan. He does have a Rinnegan now. He's got all the Rinnegan abilities, even though he never uses them. He only really uses Heavenly Hand Power, which is basically he can just look at somebody and swap places with them instantaneously, and he can teleport through dimensions. It's pretty cool, right? He is the only real counter to Naruto. Neither one of them would be able to defeat each other, in my opinion. They're gonna come out as a tie every single time. I mean, Naruto could probably win, but he doesn't want to kill Sasuke, so like, it is what it is. He trained under Orochimaru, who is a great person to train under, despite how evil he is. He kinda killed Itachi, but Itachi kinda let him win at the same time. He's got a beautiful Susanoo, probably one of the best ones we've ever seen. However, he did have Indra's arrow, which is the most powerful Susanoo attack possible. However, he was only able to use it 1 time. And honestly, if Sasuke didn't come lend a hand in the war arc, they might still all be under Infinite Tsukuyomi. At number 2, we got everybody's favorite protagonist, everyone's favorite number 1 knucklehead ninja of the leaf, Naruto Uzumaki. Where do I even start with Naruto's abilities? He mastered the Rasengan. He's able to cut a waterfall in half, a giant waterfall in half. He tanked a shot that split the moon in half like it was no problem. He adapted the Rasengan into the Rasen Shuriken, which he now has every single elemental release, so he can use any Kekkei Genkai to add to it. He can use lava release, boil release, all that good added stuff magnet release. Absolutely absurd. On top of that, he is the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, making him the strongest Jinchuriki, more than all the rest of them combined. He is a perfect sage, so when he combines his Kurama chakra mode with the perfect sage, he is just an absolute god. He's the fastest person in the show, aside from his father. He became Ninja Jesus. Like, I mean, how are you gonna beat Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally brought Might Guy back to life. He just touched him and brought him back to life. Now, granted, this was because Hagoromo gave him this power. I'm gonna still count it. How can you not love Naruto? Finally, coming in at number 1, we got Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the Sage of Six Paths, the guy who descended down to Earth to give Naruto and Sasuke their powers, gave Sasuke his Rinnegan, gave Naruto his chakra, making him Ninja Jesus. He created all the tailed beasts. He has a little something called Creation of All Things Jutsu, which means he can literally create anything using Yin Yang release, which Yin Yang release is just the combination of Yin release with Yang release. I'm going to make a video about those sometime soon. However, I'm not going to talk about them right now. Hagoromo is the literal god of Earth. He can do whatever he wants, and I feel like I don't really need to say more than that. I'll make a video about him someday as well, but for now, we're just giving a top 25 ranking, so I'm just giving brief explanations, you feel me? I'm not going to get too deep into him and his backstory. He also spread Ninshu throughout the world, which people later turned into ninjutsu, so honestly, without Hagoromo, we wouldn't even have Naruto today. Alright y'all, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you a lot, and if you could please, for me, go ahead and throw a like on the video, subscribe to the page, turn on notifications so you can see when we release more content. On top of that, please, if you like me, go ahead and check out our other channels, We Major Productions, We Major Presents Rise, and please do me a favor and go check out my editor on TikTok. He's a really good guy. His TikTok is Duffelbag Tone, very entertaining fella, does a lot of story times and stuff like that, answers any questions that you might have, so please go ahead and check out those pages for me, and you guys have an excellent rest of your day. Yeah?